Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? You are now home with Jim Beam and Dodgers Nation. Please drink responsibly. My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. That guy is Doug McCain, DMac_LA, Twitter, Instagram, in your heart. How are you doing, Doug, on this fine, thirsty Thursday?
I've been better. The team's not playing great. Lots going on. We got to fix this rotation before it starts. But hey, talking baseball with you, it does not get any better than that, Clint.
I mean, I feel like I was up here.
And I brought you down.
And then you brought it all the way down.
Let's crank it back
all
up, guys. Still in first place. Still running away with the division.
It's a day. I wouldn't call
Ryan
it. I mean, there's a lot of things happening on today's show. It's a special day. It's a sad day. It's also the Dodgers are struggling day, and we got to talk about that a little bit. They're trying to not get they ass swept in Miami, which is thank you. But also the guy you heard push the button. It's a sad day because this is DJ producer Cody's final day producing the show. He's growing up and moving on. Cody, why are you doing this? You know you're literally breaking Doug's heart.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? K-Mac here.
Here.
And it's a sad day here at
That's
Dodgers
Doug's
Nation.
original child right there until they had a real flesh one.
Hey, exactly.
Flesh child.
The greatest.
But drop your love and appreciation into the chat for Cody. It's not goodbye. It's just GTFO.
Kind of.
That's all it is. But before we get into things,
drop
I'm going to
60
tell
in
you.
his final game like Kobe.
That's true. I'm going to tell you to subscribe to the YouTube channel because you didn't subscribe soon enough. That's why Cody's leaving, to be honest. So you need to get us to 70,000 subscribers. Because why do they need to do that?
Jersey giveaway, authentic Mookie number 50. We are so close to that giveaway, guys. We got tons of giveaways throughout this postseason, autographed baseballs, wherever you guys like. We'll discuss it. But first, let's hit that 70,000 K mark. And how about this? 500 likes and Cody stays. What do you think?
Hey. I feel like
come on, 500 likes, Cody stays. Of all my coworkers at Dodgers Nation, he's definitely one of them. But I would say he's at least top five. Top five, my favorite. What do you think? I mean, I think.
Yeah, I mean, of all the people I've worked with that are currently in this room, he's definitely a top. Hold on, wait.
Count
like
it
a
out.
top 7.
Top 7.
He's definitely in the top 7.
Maybe
even the top 1. Cody's a good time. He's survived and endured. So we're ready to talk. Oh, that's Super Chat.
Super Chat.
Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. We can't do Fireball anymore because YouTube said no. Pitbull. So the thing is, guys, Pitbull
is 305.
He literally came to our house. He literally came here to the office and said, look, if you do that anymore, he was going to stab us in the face. So that's just not cool, Pitbull. We enjoyed your song. Now I will never drink Fireball again.
Never.
That's a lie.
Pitbull came and said, boom. Anyways, Michael Carrillo for $2 said, Andrew Friedman failed his team 2 deadlines and offseason in a row.
Well, I don't know. Because a month ago, 3 weeks ago, we were saying, is Andrew Friedman.
They won the deadline.
Yeah, because Lynn was Lynn's sanity. He was killing it, and then Kershaw was coming back, and he had a phenomenal first half, and everything was trending up, and then September happened. So wake me up when it ends.
Hey, there we go.
All right, let's
dive
into the show. But again, 500 likes for Cody to stay, 501 for him to stay, and super chats all day for him. If you have them, we'll read them. He'll read them. That's the last time he'll ever be allowed to speak on air in his life. But let's bring it down for a second because there's a little bit of the latest in the Julio situation. Not much. All the things we kind of anticipated. Yeah, he's placed on administrative leave. I don't think I saw there was no end date announced with it or attached to it. So it seems like it's going to be more tied to that court case that he has at the end of the month. But even so, even if it were to, that court date's on the 27th and it ends, something miraculously changes and it ends on the 28th. All the PR, all the stuff, I don't think the Dodgers would everybody. I don't think they would add him back to the roster. It's just that would be a massive headache, and for the team, that's not a good distraction to have. Let the legal process, let all of the stuff play out. So it's really it's from where we were on Tuesday. Yeah, it's a change, but it's a nothing burger in terms of this is what the team is going to be going forward. It's not going to have Julio Urias in the starting rotation on the roster in any capacity. And the only way that's kind of a problem is it just adds to all of the problems starting pitching is having. We're seeing Lynn fall apart. We're seeing Kershaw kind of literally fall apart. Where are we at, D-Mac? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's definitely some turmoil right now. And first thing I want to say is MLB, we need some more information about these option situations, because we were wondering, could you bring up Ryan Pepiot before that 15-day limit, right? So he's up there, and he was a part of that corresponding move with Shelby Miller. So the fact that opportunity has knocked for Ryan Pepiot, he's got to take advantage of it. We'll get into him in just a second, but just the overall outlook of this rotation, it's not looking good. I mean, it's tons of unproven rookies, young players. You have Clayton Kershaw, who we'll talk about a little more in depth in a few seconds here. It does not look good. I said it yesterday on Dodgers Nation Mailbag that I would not be shocked if the way this year ends that Clayton Kershaw called it a career, that he hung his cleats up and he retired. I hate to say that. I think that he's not someone that's going to want to continue his career unless he can be a 1-3 starter, a frontline guy. He's not a role player. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He's a Kobe Bryant, not a Vince Carter, right? He's not going to extend that career. You're not going to see out Clayton Kershaw. But I think we have to start Lynn sanity, because I'm sure whoever started, I think it was Michael Correa, talked about Andrew Friedman. After that first deadline after the deadline when everyone was singing his praises, we needed Andrew Friedman's statue, in Friedman we trust. The reality is he traded for a bunch of negative WAR players. He was shopping on the dollar menu, expecting a 3-star Michelin chef food, right? But you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that kind of restaurant, right? I mean, you are going to get what you trade for, and that's just the reality of this situation. And yeah, when it comes to Lance Lynn, it's unfortunate because not only is he not effective on the mound anymore, he's not serving his purpose, because let's just be honest about this. His purpose was to eat innings, right? He's got to treat his starts like we treated the buffet at Fogo de Chao right now. You just got to eat, right? And he has not done that lately, right?
If anybody has Tums, let me know in the comments below.
Oh man, no, I got some Tums in the car, so I'll hook you up after.
That's what you know, you got somebody in their mid-30s too. Let's go.
Okay, so first four starts for Lance Lynn: a 1.44 ERA, a 26.3 strikeout rate, a 4.4 walk rate. Exactly, and the most important thing, the home runs were down, right? 1.44 home runs per 9, 4 home runs in 25 innings, over 6 innings per start. The next number is not going to be good. Last 3 starts, a ERA over 7, 22 innings of work, 3.27 home runs per 9, an 8.53 FIP, 8 home runs in 28 innings of work. And you look at the strikeout rate. That strikeout rate has dropped from 26.3% to 5.8%. He's not missing bats anymore. He's not striking out guys anymore. He's giving up home runs. We're talking about a guy who got to 40 home runs before Mookie Betts. That wasn't supposed to be the case, right? And you look at someone who really is in the mix. If he has a couple bad starts, he could pass Bert Blyleven for most home runs served up in a season. The record is 50. So yeah, I sat here and said that this was a solid move based on what they gave up, right? Nick Nastrini, not a lot of guys that gave up Trace Thompson, who was a giveaway. He'd probably do a stadium giveaway, right? I mean, like, he's someone that you weren't going to have be a party roster, but really you need him to eat innings. And I think that right now he has got to pick it up if he wants any chance of being a part of this postseason mix.
What I wonder is, did the league catch up to the changes the Dodgers implemented? Because it came over, he had the cutter, it was a very hittable cutter. I think that's the way it went. The league was feasting on it, and they went away from it. He went very fastball heavy. And is it that the league caught up, or is that he's missing a lot? He's missing middle a lot, because you are seeing, those pitches are matching the thrower. Those are some fat pitches down the middle of the plate.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're saying.
That's our word.
Yeah.
I can say that.
He can say it, man.
Why are you laughing?
Preach. But yeah, no, you're absolutely correct on that one. And that, yeah, as far as has the league adjusted to him, I think, look, a part of the calculus of bringing him in was, okay, would some of these home runs they had served up, would they be home runs at Dodger Stadium? In some cases, the answer was no. But as far as Boston particularly, exactly. And overall, I mean, look, he was good until he wasn't yesterday, until the wheels fell off. He had some efficient innings, but you're seeing that when he loses that command, and you're talking about a guy that's walk rate is higher than his strikeout rate in his last 3 starts. That is terrible. I won't be pitching in Major League Baseball for much longer numbers. When that's the case, and you're pumping 92 miles per hour, and you're getting into deep counts, and it's a full count, and you're having guys foul off a ton of balls right there, you're not putting yourself in great positions. And the reality is, he's just missing. I mean, you're talking about that.
My understanding is that if you want to be the man, you need to have the command.
There's another one. To be the man, you have to have the
Put
command.
it on a shirt.
Exactly.
I like that one.
Hey, if we make these shirts, would people like actually buy them?
Maybe.
We got that one. We got if you want
Kevin
the
had a
dub,
cartoon face.
you got to mitigate the slug.
Yeah.
If you want the dub, you got to mitigate the slug. If you want the dub, you got to slug.
If you want the dub, you got to shove.
No, how does he set it up? It's I've been telling you. I've promised you guys.
I promise you. I've been
you
begging you.
The Doug collection.
I mean,
it'll be a three-shirt series.
How about this, Clint, too? 3 strikeouts in his last 15 innings of work.
That's
He's allowed
terrible.
24 hits.
That's terrible.
It's bad. He does not look a big league pitcher. Lynn's sanity has ended. This isn't Jeremy Lynn, New York Knicks 2012 Lynn, right? This is the one that was playing overseas towards the end of his career. This is not the Lynn sanity that we were hoping to get.
This is, I mean, at least presumably there's health. Like the homers. I like the way he said it. It's like once you give up 30, who gives a soup? He kind of didn't care so much about it. Like, you know how the Dodgers are. They're going to be very passive about how they kind of manage and handle somebody going through a down spell or whatever. But he's not starting game 1 now. You hope he's not starting game 2, to be honest. But if he's not starting one of those, with the way Kershaw's going, we got to flip to Kershaw a little bit here. Like you said, this is really the first time since, in 21, you can kind of make the same gut feeling of when he walked off the mound, holding the ball, didn't take off his jersey. He left in the second inning of that of his final start in 21, and was still wearing his uniform in his post game press conference hours after the fact. Like, that was the fear of, man, this could kind of be it. That shoulder is, he didn't want to go on the IL, but it looks like maybe the team was kind of right about it. And to me, sort of the tip off is like, yeah, the velocity's down, but the rise in prevalence to the changeup, that is not Clayton Edward Kershaw. He is not a changeup pitcher. He is a cutter pitcher. He calls it a slider, but that slider doesn't work when the fastball is the same velocity as his usually prime slider. So is he somebody that's going to make it into the postseason at this point?
Well, I think you said it right there. I think you hit the nail on the head. And when you look at his pitch mix and the reduced use of that slider, like I always say, he's a happily married man, but he has an effective slide piece, right? He's got that slide piece, and we know that. But he's throwing it at a reduced rate. It doesn't have that depth. It's not missing bats at the bottom of the zone. You're seeing the walks up. If you look at his numbers since he's returned, a 2.86 ERA, you're like, okay, I'm fine with that. But the expected numbers are off the charts. The FIP is high. And check this out.
He's still limiting runs. He's still doing what he's supposed to do.
He's grinding though, man.
He's grinding. And it doesn't look like he's pitching with the same tenacity that we know from that guy over the last 16 years.
And he knows it. And he knows it by his pitch mix. Forget about don't listen to a word Clayton Kershaw says after game. It is pointless, okay? I feel fine, this and that. Just don't look at what he says, watch what he does. And what he's doing is throwing less of that slider. And for him to be effective at this stage of his career, the only way that he can be a frontline starter is tunneling that four-seam fastball with that slider, watching it fall off the table, using the occasional Cooperstown curve, and hitting his spots. If he doesn't hit his spots and you're throwing 80, I looked it up yesterday. I mean, he averaged on the fastball, that average was 88.4 miles per hour. That was down from 91.1 miles per hour on the season. That was his second lowest on his fastball average in a game since 2018. That was the second lowest in his career. In 2018, in late May, he threw 31 fastballs in that game and averaged 88.3 miles per hour. And guess what, Clint? After that, he went to the IL for 3 weeks. So usually when we've seen in his career, when the velocity he's down, he's probably going to be down for some time. But unfortunately, when you look at where we are in the season, he can't do that. They need to ramp him up and get into a place where you can go 4, 5, 6 innings. And we know that's what he wants to do. So, yeah, as far as you look at 10 walks and 18 strikeouts in 22 innings. Those aren't Clayton Kershaw numbers. Those aren't vintage Kershaw numbers. He looks like he has a vintage arm right now. Doesn't have a lot of tread on the tires. And you talk about that shoulder. I'm very concerned. When I wake up at 3:30 in the morning in a cold sweat, I look at these numbers, and it's something that I don't feel good about. And I think, like I said, I hate this, but I had this feeling that if he's not going to be effective, and let's say he's going to go out there and not be able to help this team, there is no way he's going to return. He's been in this league for 16 years. They grow up so fast, right? Before you know it, they're driving the car, right? I mean, this is someone who's been in this league for such a long time. He's already been in the video game. He's playing the side quest, but he does not want to be a part of this unless he's going to be someone that's going to be able to be that key member of this team. And I think, too, you look at who's next to him. You're waiting for Walker Buehler to return. You got Bobby Miller and Ryan Pepio and Emmett Sheehan, some of these younger guys that are going to hope to contribute. But, yeah, I think in the next few weeks, you're going to have to savor these next couple of starts for Clayton Kershaw. I'm not trying to be a fearmonger or anything like that, but I think that when you look at where he's at from a health perspective, he's going to take the ball and go out there and compete like Dave Roberts said, but I'm getting a little concerned about where he looks and how he looks physically.
Yeah, soak it up. You don't know if he's going to be done. You soak it up. You really hope they can go out there and find a way to piecemeal together enough of a rotation to put this guy out on top and win a championship. Because I think we've thought really all season if they win, they dub a piece of metal home, which is not a thing anybody's ever said in human history. If they bring home that piece of metal, Kershaw's walking off happily into the distance. Cody, what's going on in the chat? What are people saying? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
B. Guzman says Kershaw needs to get 300 wins. Ray,
3,000
strikeouts. You there.
strikeouts.
That ain't gonna happen.
3,000 strikeouts.
300
maybe.
wins ain't gonna happen.
So that's what
strikeouts, pretty close.
Joel Rodriguez says Kershaw will stick around to get 3,000 Ks.
Very close to
There you go.
Ray
being the all-time wins leader in franchise history as well, behind Don Sutton, tied with Don Drysdale at the moment. Anyways, go ahead.
Ray V. Guzman Jr. says Kershaw is done. Period. Anthony Keene, Kersh is giving me that Kobe Achilles tear presser vibes. Yikes. Dave Luna, do you guys believe Kersh can hold up and reinvent himself to get results?
I mean, he clearly is trying to do that right now. When you look at where he's at as far as changing his pitch mix a little bit, throwing that split change. But the reality is those pitches, even if he's effective with them, they're not going to be as good as him with his slider when it's on. It has that sharp bite, right? And it's bearing and falling off the table, and he's going to go out there. And really, I think the big thing for me is the command is off. I mean, the 5 walks, I mean, that's insane for Clayton Kershaw, a guy that's been so pristine. And it was the first time he had a multi-home run multi-home run shot of him for months. I mean, this is someone that you'll live with the solo shots. You'll live with a solo shot, maybe 2 or 3 a game, as long as he's not walking hitters, and you go 5 or 6 innings, and that's what he wants to do. And you talk about that win stat, that's the only stat that he cares about. You guys know I'm like the most anti-win stat guy in the world, but that means something to Kershaw, and that's the first time I've ever
mean something. Should mean something.
We'll get into it, but I mean, look,
we're gonna have one off-season show. Cody, want you back for that one? You're gonna mediate.
Please.
Our wins argument.
Me and Yulo.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why he likes it, though. Why it means something to Kershaw is that means you went deep enough in the game.
Exactly. That means
you
you're
helped
being
your team
there
to
for
win.
your team. Even if you go in and you give up 7 runs and you're staying long enough for your team to win, that's a bare minimum staying in for 5 innings, which in this day and age means a whole hell of a lot. Lynn Sanity couldn't get through 5 innings in his stinker of a start.
Yeah, I mean, look,
yesterday.
At the end of the day, I just don't use it as a way to evaluate effectiveness of a pitcher. I think it means something to these pitchers, and I've heard from scouts that it means something to these pitchers too.
Yeah.
But I just think as far as like if I'm trying to trade for a guy and want to sign a guy, it's not one that I look at because it's dependent on the offense as well. But I think in Kershaw's in his standpoint right now where he is, you're talking about someone that needs to figure things out very quickly here for this team to feel good about him being a game 1 starter. I think right now, if you're looking at all these guys and there's no narrative, there's no Dave Roberts saying, oh, look at the back of the baseball card, track record type thing, there is no doubt, 100%, Bobby Miller is your game 1 starter as far as who gives you the best chance to win right now, who gives you the best chance to go 6 or 7 innings in a start. It has to be Bobby Miller right now. Then after that, if Clayton Kershaw is healthy, you figure that out. And then you look at the NLDS, you really need 3 guys.
How about this also, by the way? How about this? Ice Bobby.
Ding, 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 ding.
There it is. All right, go ahead.
But one thing I want to ask
you, we're going back to
I see people in the chat, and I see people in the chat saying, oh, Lance Lynn, he needs to trim off some pounds to be effective. I want to say something about that. First of all, what happened to CC Sabathia? He said he had to keep that weight up because when he dropped the weight, his velocity went down. How about our boy David Wells? How about Bartolo Colon? That, first of all, it's kind of a little mean to mention that, but I think, too, it's just not true. He does not need to lose weight to be effective.
If you want the dub, you don't really have to lose the chubs.
There you go. You got to stay. Cody. Stay.
Oh, no, actually, that's his high point. You can leave now. You could just hand Noah the headphones.
Andy Pettit, Derek Jeter, go get Mariano right now. Go get him. Go get him.
I can taste that one. If you want, the funny thing is, hey, synergy. The funny thing is, I was literally about to say is, if you want the dub, you got to keep the chub. But you know, he went a little long with it. Yeah, it's all good. I give it to him.
If you want to maintain your velocity, maintain your weight that was affected previously in your career. No.
All right, let's go ahead and cut his mic. Cody, what else is going on in the chat?
Just to get back to Kershaw, D-Mac's father.
What up?
So Kershaw is just getting.
Mom wants to know where the check is.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Hey,
D-Mac's
humans watching.
D-Mac's father says Kershaw is just growing older. I feel like he needs to retire. Buehler is going to come back and help contribute next year. Bobby Miller, I lost the comment. Bobby Miller is going to contribute, and Pepio I think is going to help big time. And then they're saying they're trying to bag on Lance Think or Lynn, and then Lance Listless. I don't know. Lance Jinx. Pitchers can be fat. That's what makes baseball great. That's why we have infield. That's why we have.
I am a finely tuned athletic machine. Let's go! Let's go. Dance.
Shout out to Ricky Vasquez, $4.99. Appreciation chat for y'all. Anyways, bringing consistent content and getting us through these tough times. Go Blue.
That's what Dodger Nation is here for, getting you through way too many tough times over the last.
Exactly.
How long have I been here?
We knew way too much about the policies.
Yeah, this is.
I didn't even need to Google stuff, but. Clint, also, I just want to point something out. I think we're both in agreement that when Clayton Kershaw's time is done, he's never going to wear another team's hat, right? It will be with the Dodgers. We're not going to see the weirdness. We're not going to see a Greg Maddux on the Dodgers, a Babe Ruth on the Boston Braves, Randy Johnson on the Giants.
Moved around or whatever.
Mike Piazza on the Athletics.
That was rough.
That was a little weird. We're not going to see that.
Clayton Kershaw is absolutely not.
Savannah Bananas?
Maybe. Ooh. Now, that would be fun. I liked what they did recently. My boy, friend of the show, Brett Tomko, pitched for...
Oh, they were talking about Brian Luttrell from Backstreet Boys was there too.
You are no, we're not. Nope. We're not. We are not. We already got. Hey, listen.
Break it down.
Pitbull's already after us. We're not getting Backstreet Boys coming after us. D-Mac. But yeah, it is to button it up. The pitching is a problem, and you know, I said it on my Twitter today. Ryan Pepio is going to be the savior of this Dodgers team this year. That's just a gut feeling I have going right now. Bobby Miller is going to be the important piece. The other guy I just said, Pepio is going to be the savior, and the X factor is going to be Walker Buehler. Because if you're able to plug in Walker Buehler and get, you know, whatever the percentage of I think I said 88% of Walker Buehler, you're still going to be in a really good spot.
Exactly.
In October, and he's got time. He's pitching again on Friday. He feels good. Noah in the stream saying need more super chats for Cody, so I want to make sure I shout out Noah. Or before you get to start running around if you want. It's like, come on, what's your super chats? That's his favorite all-time line for sure. But let's go ahead and move on from pitching, and let's do. We got to hear from Noah right now. It's a little Ladsky.
There's a brand new betting app called Mojo Fantasy that turns sportsbooks betting into fun fantasy contests. Now here's a quick preview of how it works. Mojo Fantasy takes thousands of MLB and NFL prop bets and allows you to build portfolios based on the bets you like. The more bets you get correct, the better your portfolio gets and the more cash you can win. Now these prop bets act like stocks, so there's no confusing lines and instead easier ways to understand how sports betting works. Also, you can buy and sell live stocks all game long. Now, this is the only fantasy app that lets you make moves after a game starts, so you're not stuck with a bad pick. You can cash in on a hot start, or you can hang on and let your bets ride. Make sure to download Mojo Fantasy on the Apple App Store right now and use the code DN2023 for 100% deposit match up to $100 for your first-time deposit. The link is in the description below. Now, here at DN, we're going to be doing tons of fun contests starting next week with a huge prize pool game. So we highly recommend you download the app right now and get familiar with it so you can make some serious money playing with tons of DN fans. Thank you so much to Mojo Fantasy for sponsoring this video, and we can't wait to see you guys on the app.
Thank you to Noah for telling us all about. We're actually pretty excited about our friends with Mojo Fantasy. There is a link in the description. Download it. It is brand new. If you see some things wrong with it, let us know. We believe it's going to be ready to go as far as we were told. Everything's good, and it's actually something we're kind of looking forward to, giving us an opportunity to. We sit in here before these shows coming up with things to bet on or players to pick to click and whatever. It just makes it a little more fun. But there will be, like Noah said, there'll be prizes. We are going to try to integrate it into the show and have some fun with fans because we appreciate you guys and we think you might like doing some of this stuff. So again, download it. Use that promo code DN2023. Made it easy for y'all. DN being Dodgers Nation because we them boys or something like that. Anything you want to add, Chief?
Yeah, no, Mojo, it's really great. I mean, you started using it, and I mean, I love how you can select the different combinations, just a unique spin on betting. I think it's going to be a big hit. I think in a couple years' time, everyone's going to be all in on Mojo Fantasy.
Yeah, we'll have more updates on it on Monday when we're back live again without Cody. What did you have? You have something from me, Chief?
Boomer Assassin says I will be using that Mojo app with my Manta mask on and a shot of Hornitos. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, is that the Hornito shot?
That's a Hornito shot taker comment of the day. Boomer Assassin, shout out to you because you're using the Mojo app and our friends at Manta Sleep and a shot of Hornitos, and you're at home with Jim Beam.
Drink responsibly.
There we go.
Sorry.
And Mojo responsibly. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So again, stay tuned next week. Download it in the app.
Download
it in the description. That if you click the link in the description, that's the only way they're going to know that we're telling you something that you guys do, and then we can keep talking about it as it goes.
Do it.
So we are now here in September. Dodgers not looking so hot in September. They need to win today to avoid a sweep, but they still would have lost 2 series in a row. Give me real interesting. Maybe not quite there yet, but I got that taste of 2017 Dodger September gloom, and I know I'm seeing more people talk about it on the internet machine as well. We felt bad. We felt very concerned about a team that was a very, very good team. I don't know what it is about this team. Is it a Dave Roberts thing where there is just like they inject a few more people into the clubhouse and something changes with the I don't know about the mindset or whatever. But what do you think this is? Is it something with mindset or is it just a lull late in the summer?
I think it's your classic September swoon. You mentioned that 2017 team. That was a team that was on a 25-5 run towards the end of July and early August. Then they go on to lose 15 of 16 games. They lose 11 in a row at one point. They struggled, especially offensively during that stretch. And I think the difference between 2017 and 2023 is that team still hadn't returned to the World Series, right? They were still riding that World Series drought. This team with a lot of veterans, with guys that have been there up and down this lineup in that rotation, they understand that a September little struggle right here is not going to define them, that they're going to be just fine. I think, too, the fact that you lose 5 of 6, and this time last week, Clint, we were talking about this is the series of the year, the Dodgers versus the Braves, the collision course to the NLCS, right? If they go take 3 of 4 out of that series, maybe they finish with the best record, not just in the National League, but the best record in all of Major League Baseball, right? But now you drop 3 or 4 of the Braves, you struggle against that Marlins team that this year 25th in offense, but they've been hot lately. I mean, average over 7 runs per game in this last stretch right here. So they're a team that's hot. They're trying to win games against this Dodgers team. And 2, I think, look, you can't ignore that now there is a distraction with Julio Urias. I think that you can't not mention that because I do think it's relevant. I think that you mentioned Dave Roberts, kind of one of his strengths, I think, over the last few years is managing all of these injuries, managing the distractions of Trevor Bauer, now Julio Urias, the expectations, being a 111-win team. So I think this team, they understands not to get too high and too low. They're good at riding the ups and downs. And to me, if I'm a Dodger fan right now, I'm saying, okay, this to me, if I want to look at a Michelada half full and really spin this as a positive, I'm saying, okay, all we're doing is we're timing our peak. You can't have it both ways last year and say, okay, they didn't time their peak. They peaked too early, right? And say, okay, we still want to win in early September just so we can collapse right when the postseason begins. So I think this team is trying to figure out some things. I don't think they're necessarily going balls to the wall, trying to win as far as the moves they're making during a game. Yesterday, you see people out there in the postgame show, they're like, D-Mac, they should have taken out Lance Lynn earlier. Why are you leaving Lance Lynn to go out there to die? Because you don't want to tax his bullpen as much as you have to, and you want to figure out who is going to be the guys that are going to help in the postseason, because the division's over. Dodgers are winning the division. Also, two, they're not going to win the pennant as far as finishing with the best record.
Yeah,
so
they're not going to get home field advantage. That became pretty clear once you lost 3 or 4 to the Braves. It's a pretty, I wouldn't say insurmountable, but it was a tough hill to have to climb.
Yeah, and it's sloppy. I mean, yesterday, Max Muncy made another sloppy play defensively. I think you saw late in the game, even down as bad as they were, right? By the way, Dodgers 0-17 in games where they've allowed 9 runs this year, right? So that's not too surprising of a statistic, but they still got some offense late. Peralta, you saw James Outman had a 2-run home run. I think really at this point in the season, this is not this lineup. If the postseason started tomorrow with the guys playing like this, they are not going to go far. They are going to be an early exit. Who do you not have in that lineup? You don't have JD Martinez. He's on the mend. He's going to be back. Walker Buehler, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, he's the X factor. If he doesn't come back and at the very least give you 3, 4, 5 innings, this team's probably not going to go far. And I think too, Ryan Pepiot, that is what you should be looking for. If you're going to rank these things as what you should be looking for the remainder of the season, his performance down the stretch is going to be absolutely key. You talk about last season, his changeup is he was throwing it, but he wasn't throwing it in the zone.
No.
At the big league level, you had to throw it in the zone.
He said he was wrong. He said it wasn't right. He didn't have either the right grip, but something was wrong with that changeup that Dodger fans saw with him up in L.A. Now, it's nastier than a porta potty at a
music
Burning
festival. At a Burning Man, nastier than a gas station bathroom. But yeah, no. Look, the thing about Ryan Pepiot too, fastball command is better, and also the slider, he's not using it as much, and the slider's more like a cutter right now too. So you're seeing him refine that pitch mix. He's in great shape. I think that I could not be happier for a guy that I think is ready for that preparation meets opportunity. I think it's a perfect combination for Ryan Pepiot. So if he's a guy that you can trust and you got these young guys, I'm kind of here for it. After the Julio Urias situation, I'm almost like, okay, let's go youth movement. Let's see what we have with these guys. Because, Clint, we had the 111-win season. We had Zach Greinke and Kershaw leading a rotation, Max Scherzer. It didn't work, right?
Yeah, to be fair, this was the season. This was the youth movement season. It just, at this point in September now, this point on the calendar, it's not quite what we expected, you know? To start the year, it was going to be the year of Miguel Vargas, and that flamed out miserably. But
debatable.
had to give it to him. It was going to be the year of maybe like a Gavin Stone, but also Pepiot was going to be high on that list. It was a delayed entry into the season, but maybe that works to his benefit. He's never been more well rested in September than he is right now.
Exactly. I think this is kind of one of those situations where it's like, you get something that you didn't ask for Christmas. You didn't ask for the PS5, but you got it anyway, right? I mean, this year you can't expect it. You can't put it on your list.
Fool
right?
just called Ryan Pepiot a PS5.
I'm just P. I mean the P. Okay.
Listen.
Pepiot.
He did his Pepiot for the PS5 though.
Hey, how many sacks did he have? How many sacks did he have in high school football?
He was good. He went to all conference. I mean, he was quite a quarterback
Learn
there.
more.
Big Hoffa. Shout out to Big Hoffa.
Doug's latest interview with Ryan Pepiot is on our YouTube channel. While you're there, subscribe, hit that bell, leave a like on all the videos you ever seen with Doug's face on them, and get us 70,000 subscribers.
But Clint, I mean, I see people out there. I feel like kind of the pulse of Dodgers Nation right now is that now that the honeymoon phase is kind of over, and you go on that honeymoon, you get back.
I think I'm dead.
And you kind of notice.
I had too much meat. No,
really?
Did you have too much meat?
And you notice all those things that I am sweating a lot right now. Just want to point that out.
This is all Cody's fault.
We celebrated Cody's farewell tour. Traitor.
Farewell, as they say.
They farewell tour at Fogo de Chao. So we got the meat sweats
They're
right
not
now.
A sponsor. Don't say the name.
Okay, blank. Leave that out. But yeah, I will say
the lady was very lovely and gave Cody a going away cake, which was quite nice. Unasked. I don't know if it was something we had
If you
to
want
pay
the
for.
dub, you gotta get cake.
Yeah, get cake at Fogo de Chao before scrambling to put
They're
together
not
a live stream. Yeah,
Say it one more time.
Oh yeah.
we gotta have some number retirement. Yeah, some number retirement. Legends of Dodgers Nation baseball ceremony.
Is Cody a Hall of Famer?
First
What?
ballot.
We'll get back to that because that's the final topic. What else are we talking about? What was this about?
No,
I like some of the comments. Jose called it slump timber. D-Mac's father, Papa says September slowdown. Noise by Noel is apparently trying to buy stuff, or are you just
they are downshifting.
You just clowning? Okay. I'm in the market for an authentic Game Worn Mookie Betts jersey at here, and he's suggesting as to where I can get one. Well, it's not game worn, but I can get you. I can get you an authentic Mookie Betts jersey if you get us a. Actually, you can't. You're not eligible. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know who Noise by Noel is. This fan can win it by subscribing to our YouTube channel.
No, but look, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm not concerned
so fast.
No, I think kind of like to hone it in here is just kind of like really the narrative that I thought on my show yesterday is now all of a sudden it's flipping post-game show. That people are starting to get mad at Andrew Friedman. They're angry at Andrew Friedman. They're saying that he did not do enough at the trade deadline. Now that the dust is settled, we're after that honeymoon phase, and Kike Hernandez, he's gone through a little slump. Rosario's still hitting lefties, but still, I mean, he's hit a little slump.
Everybody's still praising and loving on Joe Kelly. Dude has pitched 3 2/3 innings. 4 games since his trade, and then he was like, out my shoulder or my forearm, whatever. Yeah, it was a nice trade at the time. All the trade deadline was real nice, but definitely the clock kind of struck midnight on some.
Yeah, almost hit Nando at least.
Yeah, that's true. Hey. But I think if you were the Dodgers though, and you look at who else was really available, right? I mean,
that's
Dylan Cease.
They worked with what they could. Hey, hold on, wait. What about some love on Ryan Yarbrough? Yeah, even though he also kind of sucked in his life.
I mean, look, Ryan Yarbrough is serviceable. Ryan Yarbrough is a guy that is going to have to be key for this team. He's going to have to play a role, and I think that you really look at him having a potential piggyback start with whoever it may be. Specifically, I think Walker Buehler is the one I have my eyes on. But, yeah, I think there's depth pieces, right? There are some depth pieces that could help this team, but you didn't take any big swings. That's just the reality. Now, did the Dodgers try? I believe they did. I think they did their due diligence, and sometimes during trade deadlines, it just does not break right. The stars don't align for various reasons. Max Scherzer, he didn't want to be back in L.A. We talked about Max Scherzer on this show before anyone was. Well, guess what? The Dodgers actually tried to pursue him. They would have traded for him if he was willing to come back to the Dodgers.
Verlander didn't want to be in L.A. Eduardo Rodriguez didn't want to leave where he was.
Did not want to be in L.A. And then I think, too, Dylan Cease, a guy who I said, okay, he's the one that has a couple years of team control. He's someone that possibly, if you had really swung big, you could have gotten. But guess what? He has an ERA over 8 after the All-Star break. In his last 6-7 starts, he struggled as well. So he's someone that has not pitched well. Of course, with the Dodgers, he could have performed better. But, yeah, I think that this team as a whole, they did what they could, and they're still sticking to their plan. And I said a few months ago, what if Shohei Ohtani, the Dodgers signed for him, and he blew out his elbow in his first start? Guess what? He already did. He already did blow out his arm, right? So now the Dodgers, they were saving for something, and now they're like, okay, what do? We have prime Mookie, prime Freddie, Julio Urias lost, Tony Gonsolin is out, Walker Buehler's coming back. I mean, these injuries, no team, no franchise, the starting rotation has had worse luck than the Dodgers over the last few years.
He lost D-May twice. He lost Gonsolin now. He had a rough year after his first, 9 starts or whatever it is. Kershaw. Ain't Kershaw right now.
The
Bauer situation, Julio situation. It's a lot. It's definitely
Danny
a lot.
Duffy, Cole Hamels. Who? Leo?
Who?
But I mean, I think you look at some of this. I mean, so the fact that despite all that, but that would bury most organizations. When you look at the starting rotation this year, where they were. Innings-wise, they were 26 in baseball at one point. The worst bullpen in Dodgers history. Despite all that, somehow, some way, this team is going to win this division. So you get in this postseason without expectations. Baseball is so weird, Clint, that maybe this is the year it happens. Maybe this is the year it happens because there are no expectations, and they're more like a 2021 Braves, a Phillies of last year versus the big, bad, mighty Dodgers going to the postseason with Greinke and Kershaw and 111 wins and all the expectations. Oh, ouch. And, maybe this is the year. And I think, too, that even if they do lose this season, right, even if they have an early exit or they make it to the NLCS and they flame out or whatever happens, if you get key experience, the currency that you can't buy is experience. And throwing Bobby Miller in a big start in October, getting Emmett Sheehan, getting Ryan Pepio, maybe even Gavin Stone, getting all of these guys opportunities to see what they have. Let's roll. Let's ride. Let's roll with the rookies. And I'm ready to ride with these rookies and see what they have. I'm ready to see if Bobby Miller can emerge as a star. And I think that there is a lot to feel good about as far as where this organization is heading. And the reality is we know that you can't have sustained success unless you're going to hit on some of these guys. And you're going to see that right now. And it's out of necessity. Ideally, you would have picked some starters up for insurance. But, hey, the Dodgers couldn't have planned for what happened to Julio Urias. They couldn't have planned for – look, Clayton Kershaw, if it was a 10K marathon, a 5K marathon, we feel good about that. But it's 26 miles, right? Yeah. So – can he sustain? So a lot of big questions. I don't feel great about it, but like I said, it's Major League Baseball. It's where the best team in the sport has a 70% chance to lose in the postseason. That tells you everything you need to know about this wild sport.
Sports ball be hard. We're going to go to the comments right now. Let's see. You got Anthony Keene, friend of the show, saying, I don't know, the rotation didn't feel nearly as suspect in 2017. That's fair, but it was kind of, it was a piecemeal team that was figuring itself out, and it had that massive run. What they lose again? It was like 17
15 of 16.
Yeah, 15 of 16.
And then 11 in a row.
It was a bad open to September before they kind of turned it around. Like right now, I'm not overly worried about them losing 5 of 6 or whatever it is at the moment. I think they'll turn out fine coming out of that. The grander scheme of things, you look at where the starting pitching is at, that's a bigger concern. But we already talked about that. Cody, what we got?
We have a super chat.
I think the last thing you can do for us is do an a cappella rendition of Fireball. And then we record it, and that will forever live on in infamy.
We have Michael Carrillo, $5 says Muncy
Michael.
will fail us at third base in the postseason. Andrew Freeman needs to trade for Brian Hayes in the offseason. This team has a Gold Glover at first base. Why have we neglected third? I have another super chat as well.
So, I mean, again, this is tough because we really do like Max Muncy. I love Max Muncy. He's a great dude, and he's probably, possibly, potentially the most honest guy on that team. You know, he does subscribe to the Dodgers Nation postgame show or whatever, but he subscribed to like the Dodgers way of the Dodgers of speaking, and you speak in riddles when you're employed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. But he's also the most straight up. Like he'll be like, hey, man, I suck right now. It's annoying. It's frustrating. I'm trying to figure it out. Love the dude. Very much has been a major concern. That's why I was all aboard. I promise you they would have won a title if they traded for Nolan Arenado, because that's the top tier when you're looking at third base defense. And third base defense, the good teams exploit holes on a team's roster, and that is kind of a problem right now. Max can hit a point where he's being relatively serviceable at the position, but championship 3B, TBD.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the last couple of months, he has actually graded out quite favorably. I think the bad plays really stick out. You saw against the Braves. Was he going to make that play yesterday?
He's not going to make the exceptional
He's not. He's not rangy, right?
Not that there are that many players in the league, third basemen in the league, that can do it. But
the reality,
to Michael's question, like or the super chat, it's like, yeah, you have a Gold Glover over here. You have, they bring in Colton Wong, a Gold Glover, and
I mean, the reality with Max Muncy, he is miscast. He isn't a third baseman. Yeah. We saw last year.
Appreciate him doing what he's doing for the team.
Exactly.
Kind of
he is a first baseman. That's where he should
really
be.
Messed it up is Miguel Vargas, and took away second base from Max Muncy. I'm just saying.
If Miguel Vargas has no fans, I'm no longer alive. That's all I'm going to say on that. But I will say, one more take on Max Muncy is Brian Hayes. He's right around league average offensively, 13 home runs. Defensively, he's a really good player. Max Muncy, a 32 homer guy, right? A 118 weighted runs created plus guy.
The bat is there. It's nice.
That's what you pay for. I mean, that is how you win in Major League Baseball. You outslug your opponent. I'm not going to say it, but the reality is...
Say it, please.
I'm not going to say it.
It's my last show.
I feel like this is Bart Simpson and say the line, say the line, say the line.
If we can get to 100 likes right now, Doug will say the line.
If you want the dub, you got to slug.
There it is.
All right, give him a thumbs up for getting the line.
But I will say, look, had they gone Arenado, absolutely they helped their cause. What do you do with Max Muncy in that situation? Who knows? But yeah, they made an attempt to upgrade their talent up and down this lineup, and they just weren't able to get deals like that done. Also, one thing I want to talk about too, just to put tie a bow on the Arenado conversation, is we talked about Michael Busch, and I got people out there telling me how good Michael Busch is, right? He's this, he's that. What I say, that AAA, it's playing on rookie mode in Madden. The show, that's all Madden, right? The gap between AAA and the show right now is so wide that I don't want to see people on Twitter, 1,000 OPS, 18 homers, Like, I don't want to see your mind. It's great you're doing good. If it's on the pitching side, yeah, I'll jump for joy, right?
Yeah,
but offensively, in a very hitters-friendly league right there, it's great that he's doing well, but he has not been able to translate that success so far. What has that done to his trade value if you're looking at making off-season moves, which I think they are going to need to do at this point? I think it's not just about free agency. You got the Blake Snells available. There are some names that could be intriguing, but I think if you really want to upgrade this roster, you're going to have to explore those trades, and we're looking for guys like that. So Miguel Vargas isn't the only guy that didn't step up and make the most of his opportunities. And Vargas is younger. He still has some time to put him back in the oven and let him cook a little.
To be fair, Vargas got a lot
He did.
everyday playing time for 3+ months. I think almost 4 months.
I think he was playing injured, man. I think it was at like 10%.
And Bush plays a little bit here and
You're
there.
right. But I just say I need to see it. I need to see more
Phenomenal
from Michael.
cosmic powers.
Yeah.
Itty bitty playing time. Cody.
Grumpy 45 Dino
I love Grumpy.
said, I asked this weeks ago, are we underdogs now?
The underdogs.
There's one for the underdogs. Wait, no more DMCs. We're not getting. I wouldn't
And they say that.
heroes. I would not say underdogs. Do you have any other thoughts on it? It doesn't feel like underdogs to me. You still have a very good team. They still have bats. You still have, they still went dumpster diving and won with guys like Jay Hay and David Peralta. It says the pitching staff fell apart pretty bad.
Yeah, I think if you're going to make an honest assessment of the team as it currently
And the contingency,
stands,
the injured, my bad, but the injured contingency plans didn't work out. Alex Reyes, JP Fire Ice, and these are guys they signed or acquired in the offseason thinking like, yeah, maybe August. These will be dudes who helped. Didn't work out.
Exactly. And you look at
Pitching, everything. It was all just rolling snake eyes.
the reality is there's been more bad
Syndergaard.
news than good news, right? And thankfully, you've had your 2 MVP candidates stay healthy and post and go up there and put together MVP seasons. That's part of the reasons why I think Mookie deserves that award. But other than that, there's been a lot of inconsistency in this rotation and on this roster. Now, as far as are the Dodgers underdogs, I think, are they underdogs against the Braves? Yes. Would they be underdogs against the Astros? Yes. Other than that, I think it's a coin flip. I truly believe that. I think that you still have a lot of depth on this team, and I think you have a lot of veterans on this team that when the light turns on in the postseason, they're going to be ready to go. And look, the reality is we can sit here and preview a postseason matchup, but the reality is it's the mystery box, man. You don't know how these young players are going to perform. You don't know how they're going to handle adversity and the adrenaline and the stakes. And are they going to be able to pitch? Are they going to be a Madison Bumgarner type? Are they going to be some of these young guys that take this opportunity and run with it? I think this is a good situation. I feel like, are they underdogs? Maybe more than they have been in years. But I also think
that's a good point,
you are a team that, if you look at your payroll, still north of $230 million. You still are a big market team. But as far as I can think of, a lot of other starting rotations that I would rather have other than this Dodgers team right now. And really, is that the recipe? Is that the recipe right now? It's been increasingly becoming a bullpen game in this sport. Now, the top-heavy rotations like the Braves and the Phillies, the Brewers, that's going to help them their cause. But I think you could see, to me, it's almost like a Royal Rumble tag team. You just got to tag team people in there and try to do your job and count 27 outs and just piecemeal a game together while your offense has to be explosive. Why the Dodgers win in 2020? Yeah, they had some nice pitching starts. Kershaw didn't pitch great in the NLCS, pitched great in the World Series, but they hit with runners in scoring position. You had Corey Seager go into God mode, like we say. It was a Corey Book year for him, right? We know that.
Yeah,
but
you really need to have that one guy that's on fire. The Rays had Randy Arozarena to get them to the World Series that year. Every year there's somebody. Cardinals had David Freese go off a few times or whatever. You go, I don't know. I could pick up some random ones that popped to mind. Carlos Beltran got the Astros to the World Series the first time in 2004.
Yeah, you'll never forget that, man. That was a great series. Remember that?
By the way,
that Pujols homer was crazy.
Brad Lidge homer still. Old boys. Anyways,
stop, bro.
Cody, give me more stuff.
But no, I think this offense is the success or failure of this team is going to be the 1 through 6 of this lineup. Then you get the Kikes, the Rosarios, the Haywards, the Alvins. They have to come through every now and then.
Find some hits.
But if Mookie hits, Will Smith hits, Muncy hits, this team and JD Martinez comes back healthy, this team is going to advance in the NLDS. And if you get to the and play the Braves, you just better pray. I mean, at that point.
Yeah. Hepatitis C later also said Eddie Rosario. That was 21 for
go.
the Braves. Eddie Rosario. And
14 hits.
Yeah.
3 bombs.
And that was something that brought that team to a World Series. You know, the team, the 111 win Dodgers last year had a much better pitching staff. Their aces stunk in the postseason.
They weren't
got their
great.
One
They were not great.
Yeah,
5 innings, 3 runs. I mean,
bullpen games, let's do it. It's all bullpen. You're going to have like 5 starts from Caleb Ferguson. And
Bobby Miller will be a
the good
household
thing-
name.
The good thing about starting games with Caleb Ferguson is that means he's not available later in the game in a big situation.
That's the Mitch
Cody,
Lott
let's
right
go.
there.
Let's go, and then let's get the heck on out of here.
Before we
keep
get started,
going.
we had a super chat from Mr. Gary Lee, 999 said, "Let's go Dodgers and check out the Mojo app." So go check that out down in the description.
Download it.
below.
You love sports, you
Mr.
love
Gary
betting.
Lee.
That Mojo app is where it's at, guys. Definitely go check that out.
Shout out to
Mojo
Mr.
is where
Gary
it's at. No,
Lee.
that's-
Robert Williams said the Dodgers outperformed this year. They hit way more than they could have been predicted. Padres sucked this year. The reasons
very good
the Dodgers are in first, this was a rebuild year, and they fell into first. Anthony Keene said, "I think the Dodgers been underdogs all season. We weren't supposed to win the division, not nearly as good as the Braves, etc." Gilbert Villalobos said the Dodgers are always underdogs. Mike M said that the Braves are only real concerns. John Wilcox said they're only underdogs against the Braves. And some people talked about how the rookies on the pitching rotation will need the season kind of lies in their hands.
Jose Rado
Riding
5
with the
also
rookies.
said Daniel Murphy turning into Babe Ruth in 2015.
There you go. I mean, just you never know. Look at Pierce. I mean, Pierce was like out of the league.
Steve Pierce,
right?
yeah.
I mean, baseball is the weirdest sport. It's not for the faint of heart. It's crazy.
It's crazy sport. Crazy. All right, let's stop talking about baseball and let's have some fun. This is a for all of us segment here, and if you guys in the background feel like yelling out and having some fun with us, but it is Cody's last day, and that's sad to us because this is my boy. You're my boy, Cody. He's my boy.
I feel like Freddie Freeman in Atlanta.
Okay.
So what I ask you? Is he a Hall of Famer? Is this the DN Hall of Famer right here?
First ballot, unanimous. Unanimous
You got a
first
really
ballot Hall
low
of Famer.
bar, don't you?
Hey, he is a NBA Hall of Fame, though, not baseball. NBA, everyone gets it.
okay.
Wow.
Basketball
That
Hall
is
of Fame.
fair. I'll take that.
just
That
kidding.
is
Baseball
rude.
Hall of Fame.
Everybody.
Get the bust ready. He's going in to the Hall of Fame as a Dodgers Nation member, right? So we got him. I think that, look, no, Cody, we appreciate all the work you've done here. I mean, you've made your imprint in this team, for this organization. We have thrived thanks to you, and really
Just reading the statement.
it really, no, but honestly, Cody, if you guys don't know at home, Cody is the guy who's behind a lot of our big projects. He does a lot of work. He does the dirty work around here, man. This is someone that, from a video editing standpoint, a creative standpoint, this guy's done so much. He's just really improved the overall
Cody,
general
put us in the middle.
vibe of the office. And yeah, we're going to miss Cody, man. He's going on to
Vibes through the roof.
yeah, I mean, Cody, sky's the limit for this guy. I'm telling you, just getting started. And yeah, we appreciate everything you've done for Dodgers Nation. At least
No, I appreciate you guys
Cody,
for sure.
Cody,
It's been a
Cody. He
Speech.
survived.
Speech.
no.
Speech.
It's cool. I'll hop on at the end. Just want to say thank you to all you guys.
Thank us by staying.
Anyways,
No,
you know,
that'd just be awkward.
yeah,
that's
big
true.
shout out
That's true.
to
That's true.
Clint and D-Mac. They're definitely a big part of the reason why I was so successful here. And, as part of, they're definitely a part of my
As we
growing career. So I want to
go
thank you guys. Thank everyone here, Buddy, Noah, Spencer, and Noel over there, and
It's like,
Gary
and
Lee
the rest.
back at home. Appreciate all you guys, and what you can do for me if you're listening at home or if you're watching. Go subscribe to Dodgers Nation and get us to 70K.
Is it?
We
to
didn't get the
Mookie
70K
Betts.
soon enough, and that's why Cody was.
I almost feel like he's Mike Piazza, right? He's leaving too early. He's going to go to the Mets and have a lot of good years.
Nobody trash talked him.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah,
great
yeah.
point. He didn't sign him too.
Like, can you, if you want the dub, you got it.
With the W, got a slug. We
give him-
know that.
Give him one more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely not.
The thing I'm most proud of is Cody survived. That's the important thing. It's been a hell of a
If you want the dub, you gotta survive the slug.
while. It's been a hell of a while. From,
Drive to
from
survive.
your first day
Watch it.
and him signing his contract, like he just signed his first NBA 10-day.
It's like when we had Diego there with the braces, right?
He's basically been on a 10-day for his last year and like whatever. Us surviving Arizona, him learning countless new cameras and technology
Yeah.
and things, and somehow keeping this ship
Yeah.
running as
No,
smooth
Will you
as
do a
possible.
shoey for me?
No, don't. That's a really
I don't
good
have a
point.
beer,
You
but-
should.
Yeah, no, look.
If we get to 109
100
likes,
likes.
oh look at that! You get to
Yeah, no, I mean, if you wanted Chewy, whatever. But I don't have a beer on me.
Whatever.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, one of my favorite things, we had Dodgers All Access, and I told you the story.
Oh, yeah, wait. Before we get to that, I just want to say, before we get to that story, I just want to shout out Kevin Pillar, bro.
Kevin
Pillar,
Pillar.
If you're original,
Yeah.
if you're an OG,
the guy
DN,
who agreed
Yeah.
to be on the show for you and then just
We were at-
completely ghosted
Kevin,
us.
please.
We were at Dodgers All Access, and he told Kevin Pillar, he's like, "Hey, does anyone call you Kevin Pillar, bro?" And Kevin Pillar looks right at me like he wants to punch this fool in the face. You know what I mean? I'm like, "Oh no, what's it like being back to Los Angeles? You're home. You named your dog Kobe." I don't know. I was like trying to like really
Scramble.
fix
You went
things.
into
yeah,
Doug mode.
yeah. But no, it was funny. We were at
That's why we didn't let you out to ping pong the second time.
yeah.
And I knew people were there. I knew people there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
but
offense to Kevin Pillar.
it's-
I mean, I know him now. Following his career, I follow him on Instagram and everything.
Watch him just chilling in the dugout with the
Hey.
Braves as opposed with the Dodgers.
He's still going to be in the mix, though, man. ESPN, the 4 letters. Congratulations, man. That's great. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, no, it's definitely a sad day here at Dodgers Nation. But hey, this is not goodbye. See you later. You know what I mean? If you're in my fantasy football league, we're family. You know,
that
I mean,
we never saw Eric again though.
That's true.
we saw Eric went to the Laker game with Eric.
Yeah, that's true. We did.
Like one time. Yeah, I mean, I just don't do things. I
Still
don't believe
text
in.
him.
I don't believe in going to Laker games. I'm
Yeah.
a Dodgers Nation fan.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy, guys. Anyways, we got some love coming in here in the stream. Here we got just people saying congrats. They're hoping the best for you. Jose Rado 5 says Cody's just behind Eric Ulo. Although he said EUULO. It's EEU. EEULAU. There it is. Hey, still got it.
I'll see you guys on the other
See
side.
you guys. Yeah, you gonna see him on the other side. Yeah, he's not going to be a stranger. You know, he's not getting fired. It's just moving on. That's how things happen.
I'll be back on Monday.
On that note, we should move on. We should get the hell out of here because some people have to go drink $4 drinks in Rancho Cucamonga tonight. So if you see me out there, please leave me alone. I'm going to be loud and belligerent. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much, as always, for the questions and comments, for the super chat. Swoon Sausage, I'm not going to read it, but I think it's funny. I'm not going to read it. That's just, I'm a professional. But like Doug said, just to echo it, Cody, appreciate doing so much and so little, it seems. You made it fun. And then we had questions earlier. We'll have a kind of rotating, what do we call them, hosts, producers in the background. You'll probably see a lot more Noah in the mix. He is our Dodgers whiz-ish. So he'll see more of that guy and more of that excitement. it's like really put him down. So there's nowhere to go but up for Noah. So again, mash that thumbs up button one more time for Cody. Hit that subscribe one more time for Cody. And find us on the internet, DodgersNation.com, InsideTheDodgers.com. We got you covered for your Los Angeles Dodgers every way, shape, or form. Subscribe to Blue Heaven on iTunes, on Spotify, and all the spots. Your podcasts are available for free. We live there. You can hear us. You can hear his interviews with people and things in the mailbag with Doug and Spencer and all that. Wait,
Alien.
Were you an alien this year
No,
or this time,
no,
or a
I
robot?
I did PA announcer.
Oh, okay. All right. As long as it wasn't the weird robot with like
I
that
actually told him, I was like, we should just do it just to piss Clint off. I told him.
I had never been
Yeah.
more mad than I was in that moment. Subscribe again to youtube.com/DodgerNation TV. Hit the bell. I'm Real FRG. That is DMac_LA on Twitter and Instagram. That is KXDYLUU. It's all, I always forget if you have an underscore.
No,
or whatever.
underscore.
I don't need to remember it
Yeah.
again. Go to Twitter. And that's Noah Cameras, because why not? At Noah Cameras. Go download the Mojo app, Mojo Fantasy. It's in the description, link in the bio, all that kind of stuff. Do that. Thank you for hanging out with us. See you next Monday. Bye.
And I'll see you on the other side.